Hello, what's going on, everyone? It's Camille Prosperity out of Savannah, Georgia. And I want you to go ahead and as soon as you come in, I just got Instagram on the live. Haven't been on live in Instagram in a very, very, very long time. So I'm going to have Instagram join us today, Facebook and YouTube. However, Instagram, you will not see my screen shares. So if you like, if you don't want to feel left out, go on over to Better Body Crew at YouTube. Okay. You can also just go to hellocamille.com and that'll take you to all of my social media platforms. Hey guys. And as you come in, let me know where you are watching from, regardless of whether you are a live or replay viewer. Definitely, if you're on YouTube, do me a huge favor, please. Click that like, that share, and that subscribe button for me right quick so that this video will get pushed through the algorithm. There's so much entertainment that we need some more education on these platforms. Don't you agree? Of course. So guys, what I wanted to do is go over the answer to the question the other day about what would happen if you pay off a car loan early. Which part of your credit score would it affect? Okay. Oh, we got the Bronx in the house. Yes. NYC. I know I rocks with NYC. Son. As soon as I started the video, you came for snacks. I mean, are you almost done? Okay. No, it's okay. Go ahead. Just please. I just hear a bunch of plastic. All right. Yeah, I rocks with New Yorkers. Yes, I do. All right. So listen, let me show you. And again, I apologize, Instagram, but I haven't been live with you guys in so long. I wanted to go live, even though you guys won't see. You can still listen in. Okay. And the question is on my Instagram as well. So a few days ago, you guys know for about a week and a half now, I've been doing these questions to help you all basically get exposed to credit and consumer protection information little by little because everybody's so busy, right? I get it. And so the questions are intended for you to just have a little bit of daily exposure and then find out if what you think you know about credit, which is something that really controls such a huge part of our life, if what you think you know is correct. So if you're joining me on Facebook and YouTube, you see on the screen, this was the question. This was the question right here. Paying off a car loan early will not affect which aspect of your credit score? And these were the choices. Aw, what's going on, Chance? He said, what's good, sis? Looking beautiful as always. Well, I appreciate that because I don't necessarily feel like it. Today has been a weird kind of day. So I will take the compliment. Thank you so much. But right, paying off a car loan, you can't be humming, love. Huh? You can't be humming. Oh, you can hear that? Yes, you're just over there. No, you weren't in your head. You were loud. All right, thank you. Oh, the joys of parenthood. But these were the choices, y'all. The choices were credit mix, utilization, credit length, and then none of the above. So again, those were the options. Did I say that right? See, this is why I don't mess with Instagram. There they go freezing and reconnecting and do. See, that's why I haven't been on Instagram Live because they always chopping up. But yes, paying off a car loan early will not affect which of the following: credit mix, utilization, credit length, or none of the above. Okay, quite a few of you answered, some early, some late. Some of y'all wait for the answer to come out every day and then you answer. And I don't know whether you really knew the answer or whether you kind of cheated on the test. But regardless, I'm happy that you are participating. So here is the answer. And this is why it's okay. We got Duck Car 101. He said it affects. Now remember, the question was it will not affect which one of the following. So you said length, but I don't know if that's because you missed the word not. Okay. So I know, and this, don't you hate it when your teachers used to give you those questions in school? And you're like, wait, not. Da, da, da. But anyway, here's the answer, guys. The answer is paying off a car loan early will not affect your Utilization. The answer is utilization. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is, what I endeavor to do is, as I give you guys the answer, I'm linking you to where I got the answer from. If it's a video, if I have the source, you're going to get the source so that you don't think I'm just making this up. But this is huge because utilization is such a large part of your credit score. And a lot of people really do think they're doing something when they pay off their car loan early, when they pay it off at all, but especially when they pay it off early. What they don't realize is that oftentimes, while that should be a good thing, your credit score will temporarily drop because it affects so many other aspects of your credit score, like the length. Okay, going back to what Duck said. He put length up first, but here is why it affects the length, because your credit length looks at all of the years that you've had all of your trade lines / accounts. I use that synonymously. Okay, so it's looking at all of the years and the total number of accounts. And think about it, a lot of people get a car loan for what, 6 years, 5 years? That's pretty long. The average person, when they get a credit card, that credit card might be maxed out and going to collections nowadays in 3 to 4 years. So a car loan that's sitting on your report for 5 to 6 years, maybe, do they do 7 years now? If they do, that's pretty long. So when you pay it off, it closes out because it's an installment account, right? Yes, Doug said, I just paid off my car and my credit dropped. So you see, I'm not lying, right? Right? I tell no lies. But that's only going to be temporary, Doug. And by the way, congratulations on paying it off. Okay? Because that's still something to be celebrated. But all of this stuff is temporary. Just like when you opened up your car loan, your credit dropped a little bit because it hit you on the new inquiries and things of that nature. So you have to understand, and this is what we talk about over and over again in the Credit Crushers Mentorship, you have to understand what makes up the body of the credit score. Right? I told the credit crushers, you want a BBL credit score. You want it to be like plow, plow. You don't want to be like shoop. You don't want a thin file, right? No shade to the thin girls, but you want a BBL credit score. You want it to be robust, right? Rotund, curvy, thick bodied, right? So when you close down that car loan, it's definitely going to, let's go back to the answers. The answers, we're going to leave out none of the above. But with credit mix, it's definitely going to affect your credit mix, because your credit mix looks at how many revolving and how many installment loans you have. Well, a car loan is an installment loan. So now you have fewer installment loans, right? And if you have no revolving, then goodness gracious knows, a lender is going to look at that and say they really don't know how to. It's one of the factors that tells them whether or not you know how to handle credit. They don't care about that you paid it off early and you were never not. They're looking at, for that part of the credit score that looks at the credit mix, they're just looking at how many revolving, how many installment. And once you lose one of your installments, you're going to take a hit in that area. Now, the credit length I already went over. They're looking at the total number of accounts / trade lines, and then the total length for each. And it's an average too. So, you can go to the handy dandy Googler and look up the calculation there. It's very, very simple. But with the utilization, and let me share this with Facebook and YouTube, utilization only looks at revolving accounts, y'all. A lot of people don't know that. Utilization does not factor in installment accounts. And that's what your car loan is. That is why when you close your car loan, your utilization is not affected. And there's a lot of people who think because utilization, it's either 35 or 30%. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's one of the top scores. It's one of the top percentages of the credit score that, affects it. So a lot of people are happy thinking it's going to help their utilization, because oftentimes their utilization is high on their revolving accounts. It does not, an installment loan being paid off does not help your utilization. In my mind, I'm guessing they're saying what really tells whether or not you can manage something is something that you manage. An installment loan, you don't manage. They give you a lump sum and you pay it down. And you just pay it down in perpetuity until it no longer exists, right? Not in perpetuity, for whatever the length of the term is. But with a revolving, that's a much better metric of how you manage, because you're giving a certain amount of money, and as you use it, you pay on it. And then as you pay on it, it's available again. So it's much more of a test, right? Think of it like this. If you have a partner and that partner stays in the house all the time, they're never around the opposite sex, you could be like, they never cheat. But then again, they're never tempted. Right? That's like an installment loan. You got the person on lockdown. It's this is what it's going to be. And you don't even have an opportunity to go, like with an installment loan, you can't go over that amount that they granted you on the loan. With a revolving credit card, you can charge it to the max, and then when the interest comes, it can go over the limit. There and again, that shows them how you quote unquote manage credit more so than an installment account. They both serve a purpose. They're both they both serve a purpose. But as it relates to utilization, it only looks at revolving accounts. So there are some people who have no credit cards, right? So in theory, you might think, oh, well, they have no utilization. That's a good thing. But no, it's really not, because the creditors, the banks, the lenders, they don't want to have an artificial score, meaning, oh, you didn't do bad with it because you didn't have an opportunity to. Does that make sense? They want to give you stuff. They want to see that someone has given you stuff, and the temptation to abuse it was not even in your character. Was not even in, that didn't even phase you. Does that make sense? I'm going to go back to StreamYard and check the comments, see what you guys are saying. Hey, thank you guys for joining. Okay, there are no comments, so I'm going to assume this makes sense to you all, right? I'm going to assume it makes sense. Hey, what's going on, Adas Scottsdale? So that is that answer, and it's really, really important, because a lot of people do not know this. With the Credit Crushers Mentorship, there were some people who never checked their credit score, never checked their credit reports. No shade. A lot of people don't do that because we often don't really care until we get denied for something. And that is the worst time for you to become acquainted with what all of these other lenders, banks, and people are saying about you, because now you're trying to fix something retroactively instead of being proactive about it. And I really, really want us to stop doing that, because it's costing a lot in money. Interest rates, denied opportunities is costing a lot. And it's just costing a lot. It's costing a lot in time. It is super inconvenient when you are denied something, and now you have to go around and try to find another place, find somebody who will accept you every time they pull your credit. It's hurting you in the inquiry section, and it's just unnecessary. I know we're all busy, but for something as important as the credit that dictates so much of your life, we're beyond the phase of credit just being something where you needed to get a house, a car, and credit cards. It is now playing a part in so many things. Your insurance, your health insurance is playing a part in employment. It's playing a part in a lot of different things, y'all. So you want to take care of this. You want to take it seriously. You want to take the time to learn about it. I spoke to someone who was interested in the Wave 2 mentorship. And she said, I need to know, because if you filled out that form, you go to hellocamille.com, and then you type in, and then you click the Credit Crushers mentorship form. As a matter of fact, let me just show those who are able to see my screen share how you do that. We start this Wednesday, y'all. March the 8th. We start this Wednesday with Wave 2. So, you do not want to miss that if you don't know about this stuff that I'm sharing with you. So you go to hellocamille.com, and then you click right here, right now it is the second tab from the top, Credit Crushers Mentorship Form. And you fill this out if you want to be a part of that. Wave 1 was a success. We had a lot of fun. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. They said they enjoyed it. I spoke with a credit crusher yesterday about her specific information, because right now, the way it's structured, we have live class. I'm on their live tour. I do the presentation. You know what? After this video, I'm going to go in more depth about the structure of it. But you also have access to me to help out with your specific situation to a certain degree. of course. But I spoke with one of the mentees yesterday, and we were able to cover a lot of ground and just straighten out some things. And it helps, y'all. Two eyes are better than one. There are things I know that a lot of people don't know, because I paid for so many mentorships, courses, classes, things of that nature. And so that's why people paid me to share that information with them with my unique delivery style. So this is the form. You want to fill it out in its entirety and submit it, and then I will get back to you. You want to do this sooner as opposed to later, because the earlier you do it, the earlier I can give you some pre-assignments that I want done before. I'm sorry. I didn't show you guys the form. Sorry. This is the form, okay? So, like I said, once you click Credit Crushers Mentorship Form, this is the actual form. You'll fill it out in its entirety, and I'll get back to you shortly. That's how that works. And you want to go ahead and secure your seat, because, guys, I don't like for the class to be too big, because last session, every presentation was 1 to 2 hours. Q&A was an hour. I thought that they would have nothing to say, but they had a lot to say. And so the more people I add, the more the longer we're going to be on there. And it is a work night. It's a Wednesday. But also remember, there's a component to this where I help you outside of class personally to a certain degree. And it's only one of me. So I can't have too many people that I'm to serve, because I still got to live. So, so everybody is not accepted into the mentorship. If you want to know about something that I don't teach, I'm not going to take your money, right? I'm not even going to let you pay me, because that just doesn't make any sense. So that is the purpose of the form, to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. All right. And like I said, I'll come back on later and do an in-depth. Hey, Mary Stewart, what's going on? Y'all, she was a part of the pilot group that I did, the free Credit Crushers. What was that, like a year or two ago, Mary? And Mary greatly increased her score using some of the tools that we talked about. So super duper proud of my girl, Mary, for so many things, but the Credit Crushers thing is definitely one of that. So I'm going to end this broadcast now. Thank you to everyone who is answering questions. I'm happy that you all are enjoying the questions. Keep doing that, because when you answer, when you participate, especially when you do it before I give the answer, it lets me know that you find value in this. And I'm only going to continue to do the things that you guys find value in. If it doesn't matter to you, then it's not going to matter to me, right? I'm not here to waste your time. What's going on, Ordad.75? How you doing this Sunday? So that's it. Ain't got no more. Yeah. Mary said, yes, it was amazing. Very informative. And I'm so glad you think that, Mayor. Yes, that group prepared me for the paid mentorship, and it was so necessary. So thank you to Mary for you doing what you did, so that I would see, oh, it works. It works. Because, guys, everything is not on my credit report. So there are certain things that I know about that I can't test out on myself, because I didn't have those particular situations. Oh, I started a story, and then I stopped before completing it, which I do often. So I was speaking with someone, and then I'm going to end this. I was speaking with someone who wanted to be a part of Wave 2, and she was saying, is that Ronnie? I'm going to have to see. Oh my gosh, Ron, is that Ronnie? Well, you said Ronnie, but is that my Ronnie? My little bro, Ronnie. So I was speaking with the Wave 2 mentee, and she said she wanted to get a negative trade line off of her credit report. And so she had just started paying on it, and she wanted to get it off her credit report. And as you guys know, just because you pay something off does not mean they will take it off. In your mind, you think that, but that's not how it works. You have to negotiate a pay for delete if you're going to pay for something, with the purpose of paying being that you want it off of your credit report. Because there are plenty of people who pay, and then guess what? They pay the debt collector, and then the original creditor comes back and says, give us our money. And then they're like, no, I paid them. And they're like, well, we still own the debt. It's all types of tricks that they play, y'all. And that is the whole point of this mentorship. So you won't get got. Right? But anyway, she's paying on this negative trade line because she wants it off of her credit report. When I asked her, well, is it appearing with one CRA, two, or all three of them? She said, I'm not sure. Let me find out. Come to find out, It wasn't even on any of her credit reports. But she was paying because she wanted it off of her credit report. Right now, she's going through something. Her money could be better spent paying something else. Not to say she's never going to pay that debt if she owns that debt, but it wasn't at the top of the priority pile. But in her mind, it was a top priority because in her mind, it was on her credit report. It had to be. They're contacting her, they're asking her for payment. She just naturally thought that, but it wasn't so. And guess what happened? By paying the debt, because you should never pay anybody without asking them to validate the debt. Do they own it? Just because you owe the debt doesn't mean they own the debt. You could be paying the wrong person and turn around and have to pay again to the right person. So I want to be very clear about that, because there are a lot of people who think that I come on here to tell people how to skip out on their bills. I don't. I come on here to tell people how to not pay the wrong person and how to make sure that just because they didn't have the money and they got in a bind, I'm in a bind, Nate. I really need this money, Nate. Right? Just because you got in a bind and you fell behind on your bills, it doesn't mean you're at the mercy of some debt collector or even the original creditor violating you and doing whatever they want to do to get you to pay up. It does no. Two wrongs don't make it right. Okay? Mary said, ain't that something? And then she said, facts. Ronnie said, yes. Oh my gosh, Ronnie, I meant to see you when you were here. You know what? Well, you weren't here for long, but okay, I'll have to join you. What's going on, Steph? Hey, Stephanie. So, yeah, it wasn't even on her credit report. But guess what? By paying, because they were calling her, contacting her, by paying, she has now validated the debt. So she doesn't even know if is there some recourse? Yeah, there is some recourse that she could possibly have, but it involves me really digging into the details of the original contract, the clauses inside of it, things of that nature. But it's just much harder when we operate, and you guys will know what I mean when I say this. It's no shade at all. It's only facts. But when we operate in ignorance, y'all, it costs us so much money. That is the danger, though, of I'll figure it out. You're figuring it out on your own with your own faculties, and you already don't have time, and you already have slim funds. It's going to cost you what? It's going to cost you so much more money to figure it out on your own. Because if you knew this stuff, you would have never gotten that situation in the first place. See? If you knew better, you would have done better. You can't figure it out. I mean, you might, but very rarely. There are so many things that people do when they attempt to fix their credit on their own that ultimately, instead of helping them, it ends up hurting them, because they don't understand, again, the credit mix, the difference between the trade lines, what counts in what area, especially if you have negative trade lines. And those are the things that we are most concerned about. What's the difference between a charge off and collections? How do you handle that? How do you, it's like, there are so many things. And some people get in the free Credit Crushers group and ask questions there, not understanding that there are so many different variables that go into play. I can't just answer stuff based on a post, right? And what sounds good in theory might not be good for your particular situation. Oh, pay down your debts. Again, you could pay it down and it could still be on there. So if you're trying to pay down, if you're trying to clean up your credit report because you want to get a house or something like that, and the lender doesn't want any negative trade lines, you could pay something down thinking you're doing something, and you're really not. You could pay it down and that negative is still on there. And now you have lost a lot of your negotiating power, because you can often negotiate, okay, I'll pay you if you delete it. You can only do that before you pay. Once it's paid, they don't care about you or what you're trying to do. Right? D'Angelo, he said, this third party tried me, but they learned real quick. I knew what I was doing, law. Oh, they try you all the time. And I want you guys to look up what it takes to start a debt collection agency. You would be surprised, because y'all think it's this like this heavily regulated thing, and you would be surprised at who owns debt collection agencies, how they get started, how they function, how they profit, how they acquire debt. They're literally just buying like Excel spreadsheets for pennies on the dollar, and anything that they make is profit for them because they got it so cheap. But a large part of the reason why they get it so cheap is because the purchase sale and the bill of sale and the purchase agreement, the bill of sale and the purchase agreement from the original creditor to the debt collector has a lot of clauses, right? To where they relinquish a lot of the rights that the original creditor has. You don't know that. So you're walking around in fear thinking that they have the same rights when they don't. And you can use that to your advantage if you know. The problem is you don't. You don't know, right? Charles Fitcher with coffee breaks. Interesting name. He said fearless. Man, the information is so empowering when you know it, because then you know what to say. You shouldn't even be talking to any debt collectors. Shouldn't even be talking to them on the phone, because they are skilled at hold up. They're skilled at they are skilled at getting you to admit stuff. So even if you owe the debt and you don't have time to deal with it right now, a lot of times they call it inconvenient times because we're always busy. You tell them, I'm not going to talk about this on the phone. Send me any information about the alleged debt in writing to my address. Well, what's your address? Send it to the address you have on file. But you don't know to say that, right? So anyway, guys, it's a lot. I'm going to end this right now. I just wanted to go over that question so that you guys would know if you pay over. Yes. Remove old addresses, remove old phone numbers, remove all old information. That is one of the first things I have the Credit Crushers do. Pull all 3 of their credit reports. And guys, there is no reason why we all should not know what's on all 3 of our credit reports, because according to whoever, we're still in a pandemic pause, and you're able to get free credit reports every week still. It used to be once a year from the 3, but now you can get 3 every week. So if I ask you when's the last time you looked at your credit report, the longest you should say is 6 days ago. 6 days ago. That's the longest you should say. And I'm not saying you have to pull it every 6 days, but there's no reason right now for anybody to say, I don't know what it looked like. I had a family member over last night and we pulled her 3 credit reports. It literally took less than 10 minutes for all 3. Oh, also, guys, once you access it, save it to your computer. And the Credit Crushers know why. But save it to your computer, because once you access it, you're not going to be able to access it again. And some of you think you only need your current report. No. You want your current and you want previous, because you can find some discrepancies and inconsistencies in the historical data as compared to the current that you could possibly monetize. Again, we don't know what we don't know, but that's why I'm here to tell you. Kim, you are so correct. They hate when you have them validate the debt. Oh, yes, they hate a lot of what they hate is for us to know what we're doing. Like you said, and that's where they make their money. They make their income in our ignorance. And we're going to so many of us are going to keep saying things like, well, I don't have the money for this. It's costing you more not to be a part of my mentorship. It's costing you more money. And it's definitely costing you more not to know this information. Mary said, right, it's a lot of old addresses and names on I had somebody in the mentorship that had old social security numbers, all types of stuff, addresses from states that they never even visited. I had an address of Indiana on my credit report. I've never even visited Indiana. So it's so much of that, and it allows for it increases the probability that your file is going to be mixed merged. People wonder how stuff just appears on their credit report and they don't know where it came from. It's because of that. They're matching the PIs, they're matching the personal identifiers. You're on it though, Mary? Yes, you're on it. Good. What's the website I visit for me to pull my credit report? Annualcreditreport.com. Annual credit. You should not pay for your credit report. There are a lot of people who have a similar name to that because they're trying to rip you off. Annualcreditreport.com. That is the big 3 you can pull from there, totally free. And right now until, is it April of this year? I think it is. But this was supposed to end so many times. So many times they said they're not going to do free weekly and they're going to go back to the free yearly. And it's really a blessing if you have the free weekly, especially if you're trying to get negative trade lines off. Because, when those dispute periods in, you can pull another report and see if it's still on there. And as you guys know, or you should if you've been following me for any period of time, when you dispute something, they're supposed to automatically mark it in dispute. If not, that's a violation. If it comes off of your credit report, it has to come off. They have a certain amount of time to take it off. If not, that's a violation, right? And you could be financially compensated for that. So again, you want to pull those reports. You want the official ones from annualcreditreport.com. Thank you, ma'am. Getting it now. Good. I'm glad to hear that, because you got to know what you're working with. That is the starting point of everything. I don't want anybody to talk to me if they haven't looked at their credit reports, because otherwise, what are we talking about? I don't live in the land of hypotheticals and assumptions. I think no, I'm going to need you to know. I'm going to need you to know, baby. Otherwise, we're just up here blowing out hot air. Let's speak on the facts, right? So let me end this, because I really do want to come back and just talk more about what we go through in the 4 weeks of the mentorship, how it's structured. Like I said, you do not have a lot of time if you want to be a part of wave 2. Some people have already secured their seats and gotten to work with the preliminary actions, tasks that we have before session 1, class 1. It's going to be intense, but I'm going to be right there by your side. Okay. So yeah, let me end this video so I can come back and do that video. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. Go to annualcreditreport.com, pull your reports, look at them, mark them up, and let's start getting to work while you don't need something on scrubbing your report of everything that is bad before you start building. Don't just put good stuff on. Actually learn how to build the body of the credit score, right? Build it up, build it out, up and out like a BBL, right? So very important. Okay, if you do not do it that way, take off the ugly, then build up the good. All you're doing, look at Instagram over there, reconnecting, pausing, having a hissy fit. That's why I don't play with Instagram. But if you do not do it that way, guys, all you're doing is putting lipstick on a pig. All you're doing is putting lipstick on a pig. And it is so hurtful to look at people who think they're doing something good and they don't have no clue. All right, let me read this last comment. I've been noticing a lot of inaccurate hard inquiries on my credit report and have been requesting to get them removed. What is the simplest way to do this? Use the law. If you didn't give them permissible purpose, me personally, I wouldn't only just get them removed. I would get compensated from whoever put it on there. I didn't give you permission and you looking at that's against the law. So yeah, I would you just send a letter. But yeah, before I did that, I would get compensated for it, because people can't just look at your stuff. Even if you didn't get anything from them, because sometimes they try to pull that with the soft inquiries, right? But if you go to the law doesn't distinguish between soft and hard inquiries, does it? No, it just says inquiries. So if the law doesn't distinguish between it, you don't. But when you call the bureaus, they'll try to distinguish between it. They'll say, oh, it's a soft inquiry. It doesn't matter what your credit score, which is true. It doesn't matter what your credit score. That still didn't give that person the right to look at my junk, though. How about that? Right? If I break in your house, but then I don't steal anything, I can't back out and be like, but I ain't took nothing, though. You ain't hurt. You ain't harm. No, I broke in your house. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Yasodaga. I hope I said that right. You said thank you. You are so very welcome. I'm happy that you were here to receive it. Mary said, right. Yes, absolutely. And again, guys, sometimes there is money right in front of your face, but there's none so blind as he who cannot see. You don't even know it, so you can't even recognize it. But I'm a part of a group where daily they're posting checks anywhere from $250 to $7,000. We have people in that group, not my Credit Crushers group. We gonna work up to that, Credit Crushers. But again, this is what makes me so on fire about this. There was one guy who wanted to fix his wife's credit, and now what? It's been less than a year, and he's accumulated over $10,000 in settlements from violations on their credit reports. How amazing is that? You go from owing other people to them having to pay you for all, like, y'all have no idea how many wrongs they are doing to us. And you out here trying to get something working overtime, trying to get a side hustle, driving Uber and Lyft, which keeps you on the hamster wheel of busyness so that you can never sit your butt down and learn about this stuff. You can never sit your butt down and look into the laws. Got my book right here. You don't really need the book though. We sold this book out, y'all. Y'all know that, right? Can't even buy this book no more because y'all ordered over 1,000 of this book because of that video I did on my porch over there, on my balcony. You said that part. Yes, that part. There's so much I could tell y'all, but again, it doesn't even make sense when I come on these lives unless you know already. You really need the mentorship to put the pieces together. And again, I'm going to come back on after this and show you the order, the flow, because that's when you're really going to have the revelation and the otherwise you got a bunch of puzzle pieces just jumbled up in your head, but you don't have the big picture of how to assemble them because you don't know what it's supposed to look like. Coming in from the state of Maryland. Thank you, Michael Hilliard, for joining. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I don't know when you joined exactly. If you missed the beginning, though, definitely go back and watch. We went over the answer to the quiz question. Y'all answer those questions. The current one is already up. Very interesting question, and I'm going to tell you why I asked that. And yeah, let me end this. I've said that like 50 million times, but I'm going to finally end it now. And then I'm going to come back and share with you the structure of the Credit Crushers Mentorship. We had some people that missed round 1, but they got in round 2. It starts March 8th, Wednesday at 8. If you can't make it live, then there are replays that are the replays, the recordings are provided to you. But it is intense. There's a Telegram group, and again, there's access to me sparingly for me to help you with your specific situation. Okay. But I only want to work with serious people, y'all. So go to hellocamille.com, fill out the Credit Crushers Mentorship form. And I'm not cheap, but I'm worth my weight in gold. And then I will follow up with you from there. The earlier, the better, though. All right. Because once I max out, that's just it. It's only one of me, y'all. All right. I'll talk to you later. I'll be right back. Bye. Oh, let me